Hi, my name is Jonathan Scholes. I'm from Affinity Private. I'm a senior financial planner here, and I'd like to share with you today a story about the magic of compounding. Uh, General advice only. We would be delighted to talk to you about your personal circumstances or indeed that of your family. Today about Patty. So Patty's 18, and she's just starting out in the world, and she's very excited about her future career. Has great plans to both have a very successful and also earn a good income during her lifetime. Also wants to go off and have children at some point in time. That's part of her life plan. She is 18 years of age and is thinking about the best way for her to accumulate capital over the very long term. She has some fantastic parents and also some fantastic grandparents that are happy to help her out if they can see that there's a plan in place. Let's have a look at a couple of options for Patty, and I'll show you the difference that starting out early can actually provide. So in option one, a Paddy contributes $5,000 a year from age 18 through to age 26. So $40,000 over that time period. Now, $5,000 for an 18-year-old is difficult to come by. So we are assuming this example that there is some contribution from her parents or from her grandparents. Now that might be by way of charging Paddy board and then perhaps contributing the funds back to her into her superannuation plan. So total contribution over those 8 years is $40,000. In example two, Paddy starts contributing at age 26 and contributes $5,000 a year every year until age 65. So a total contribution of $200,000. Now, once again, in the early years, there may be some assistance from the parents or grandparents. However, that's unlikely to continue for the full 40 years. And hence, there is the assumption that Paddy will provide that $5,000 from her own personal cash flow going forward. So when we look at that, in example number two, we're contributing 5 times as much capital. And so a significant difference. So how does this look over the long term? Money gets invested and earns a rate of return of 10% per annum, net of all fees and taxes. That might be perhaps a little bit high, but that is the long-term return from Australian shares if you invest in a well-diversified portfolio. Let's look at the example here. So Patty at age 18, she contributes effectively $5,000 a year, totaling to $40,000 over that time period. And Patty at age 26 contributes $5,000 a year, up to $200,000 over her life at that point in time. In the second example, Patty's balance will grow to around about $760,000 in today's dollar terms. That is a good outcome for Patty. She's put in $200,000 and she'll be able to access about $760,000 at age 65. In the first example, though, where Patty puts in just $40,000, this is where the magic of compounding really comes in. So what you can see here is Patty will end up with around about $890,000 in today's dollar terms, or $130,000 more than the first example. She's done this by putting in only $40,000 over that 8-year period of time, rather than the $200,000 in the second example. It's a very big difference, and it all comes back to compounding. So what else can Patty do post the budget to improve her position and certainly over the next 5, 10, 15 years of her life? The examples that have come out from the budget, the big message is to really start thinking about your retirement the moment you start to earn income. That's a very difficult concept for Australians because we have typically planned for retirement later on in life. The budget certainly incentivizes us to start saving earlier. So we've said here consistent and early superannuation contributions. Should Patty have a period of time out of the workforce, we would definitely recommend to her and her partner to access the spouse rebate where possible, which is a way of the working spouse saving a little bit of tax on their income. In addition, should Patty have a period of time off work, we may look to consider to utilise the previous year's contribution caps. So Patty can put in $25,000 a year from 1 July 2017. If she's not working, we can actually go back and use the cap she hasn't previously used. In addition, we might look to superannuation split where possible. Now, typically, one member of a couple will have a higher balance than the a remaining member. In this example, it may indeed be Patty, particularly if she does embark on the saving program from age 18. we would look to try and make sure that both members of that relationship had a very similar balance towards retirement. And given Patty's got a 40-year investment time frame on her first contribution, there would definitely be the ability for her to take quite a great deal of investment risk and look to take an aggressive portfolio approach. That would probably abate towards her retirement as that period of time where she needed the capital actually got closer. So I hope you've enjoyed this presentation today. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact Carol Torfik, Catherine Robson, or myself. We'd be more than happy to talk about any of this presentation or indeed anything else that's currently on your mind. Thanks.